What's going on, guys? It's Smarticulls Gaming, and we're back, ready to slap with another Monster Hunter video. And today, this is video 3 of 3. Last video you'll hear from me today. We're talking top 10 longsword designs for Monster Hunter Rise. These are the longswords that I think have the best design. Doesn't have to do with attack power. Doesn't have to do with mixed set building, doesn't have to do with sharpness, none of that, literally based on how it looks. That's what we're going based off of. Every weapon has a fair shot. Of course, some of them pop more than others, and those that pop more than others are listed in the top 10. Let's go ahead and get started with number 10. The Devil Slicer. I don't remember which tree this is off of. I really don't. Yeah, I don't remember what tree it's off of. However, what I do remember and what I do love about this blade is the color. Absolutely beautiful. The purple going into the blue there is a really nice. Of course, it's on the sheath more than it is on the blade itself. Of course, in this situation. But it's got a nice color to it. There's nothing really unique about it besides that pretty color, which is why it sits at number 10 and not higher on the list. The ones further down the list have even more unique features which set them apart. But number 9 is something very similar, the Rhyme Blossom. As you can see, this has a little bit more of a unique design to the blade itself, and of course to the sheath. I don't know what it's technically called, but that's what I'm going to call it in this video. It's a nice blade, and if you notice really carefully, right around where the this bit right here, there is a snowflake that looks very similar to my second favorite sword and shield weapon that I talked about in the last video. They might be of the same tree, but I think that is a really nice touch. I think it's really cool and really neat that they have a connection like that together. However, I love this ice blade for sure, and it sits number 9 on the list. Number 8 is the Anteca Rack. This looks like a dadgum boomerang. Just gonna be honest with you. It is a lovely, lovely longsword. Looks quite dangerous to hold from either side in all opinions here. Both sides are sharp. Both sides look like they would hurt and cut you. However, you hold one end to do slapping with, so, I don't know. Of course, the usage of Anteca is really lovely. It seems like a lot of the small monsters are being used in Rise to make weapons with, which has me really interested for Sunbreak, because I wonder if they're going to keep that theme going with smaller monsters having their own weapons. Or armor sets. I know the Velociprey armor set has been confirmed to be at least seen in Rise. Hornitars usually have some type of armor. So I know that those two will. So I'm quite interested to see if the other monsters get weapons as well. The Anteca longsword is awesome. Its design is cool. Of course, you can see the blade is a lot different from that of a typical longsword or katana, and it's cool. Number 8 for sure. Number 7, the Illusory Frilled Slash, Somnicant's beautiful, beautiful longsword. Looks like something kind of like a mix between a scythe and a claw. I mean, that looks like it would hurt, honestly. Those very pointy spikes at the end of the blade. The curved handle is nice. It's really cool. The stem, whatever you want to call it, leading up to the blade itself, I think that is a lovely design. The blue color coming from the blade itself lets you know what monster this is really from, and I'm hoping that to see a lot more beautiful designs like this in the upcoming Sunbreak, but this design is gorgeous. If you're probably curious if I love it so much, why is it number 7? And you will see further down the line, especially with number 6. That's right, a scythe. I love these. I hunted with this big menacing scythe a lot when I was using longsword to farm for longsword materials in the game. I loved just how it looked when my hunter was using it. Very cool. Of course, if I'm not mistaken, in my history, scythes were used really to cut grass before lawnmowers existed. So, very out of date piece of equipment for human use, but not for hunter use. I think the scythe has a lovely design. It's got a lot of bone to it. Very nice blade. Not, of course, again, not your traditional long sword, but that is a very long sword still. And yeah, number 6, I have a lot of love for scythes, so number 5 would be nothing other than another scythe. The Squawk Scythe. It's got, I guess a vulture on the end. That looks so creepy. But the handle is quite unique. Of course, the blade itself is a head with a beak. That is an incredible design, even though it does look creepy and could probably creep the monster out by just standing it upright and letting it stare into the monster's eyes. The monster might feel intimidated too. Anyway, that is a lovely little design there for the Squawk Scythe. Not much to say on that except for it's a scythe, it's big, and it's cool. Number 4, the Basiarios Titanic Macra. This one is beautiful. I use this one to hunt a lot, and contrary to how it looks, it holds the fire element. So I know it looks cool and ice-like with the ice element, but it actually holds the fire element. I love the little stone scales on the back of the blade that give it that the Basiarios type of feel. Of course, I'm going to assume that is ore on the blade itself that, you know, Basiarios you can get from Basiarios or different types of ore. I love this blade. It doesn't really have a sheath that you put it in, but it does look incredible. It's so beautiful. This is one of my favorite long swords in Rise, obviously because it's sitting at number 4. Number 3, the Doombringer blade. It's literally a curved blade from beginning to end. The handle is curved, the blade is curved, the sheath looks very, very silly in my opinion. It's so small. I don't even remember how this blade is sheathed. I didn't spend a lot of time using it, even though I absolutely love it. The Almudron longsword is incredible, and just like all the other Almudron weapons you've seen in my past videos, this one is got the yellow, the red, the gray there going throughout the blade. It's a really lovely combination. It looks incredible. That looks like it'd be fun to swing around. Number 3, easily. Number 2, the Phantom's Mirage. The reason why this one's number 2, well, I don't particularly like the Chameleos weapons. The blade's invisible. The blade is literally invisible. What else can be said other than the blade is literally invisible? That is so cool. You're hacking and slicing on a monster. That monster can't gauge as to whether they're out of a safe zone or not with you and your blade, because your blade is freaking invisible. That's incredible. And why it's not number 1, you're going to see in a minute with number 1, the Imperial Sword. Now wait a minute, Infinite. What the heck, dude? You went from an invisible blade to a long sword that really looks like it could be a great sword. Yeah, that's why. as a greatsword main, and I absolutely love my greatswords. This one looks like a freaking greatsword. Of course, the color is absolutely beautiful. It's a long sword, but when I use it, I do kind of feel like I'm using a greatsword until I pull it out and start attacking, and then I'm like, oh yeah, it's a longsword. I have managed to forget that I'm using a longsword when fighting with this weapon before. It has happened. It was quite funny, really sad, and I was really disappointed when I realized that I had a longsword instead of a greatsword. But I do love the color of this in all seriousness, and I do love the sheath itself. Looks very, very luxurious, honestly. This blade looks like something a hunter that has killed a lot of monsters and has amassed a lot of money would have. That's my top 10. Let me know what your top 10 longsword designs are. Let me know if you put my top 10 in a different order. Leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe for future top 10 weapon design videos. And we'll see you guys on the next one.